Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Tariq again from the whiteboard, and today we are going to be solving the fourth problem, which is it belongs to the third section in the time complexity section. So in that section, you're going to find three questions. The first two, they're like math-based, so I actually picked the last one, which is the most interesting one. We're going to be talking about the equilibrium. And I guess this is one of the let's say tricks or problem solving techniques that you really need to understand because it may help you in the future when once you face like a similar problem or a similar question. So let's get into it. All right, so let's do this. We're gonna start with PHP before I read anything. All right, so I believe I remember this question. Again, don't freak out. I like this for me, this thing here is gonna like make everything worse when you read it or you just when you go through it. So it's as simple as that. So a non-empty array consisting of n integers given array represents number on a tape. Cool. So any integer p such as, which is this one is the, you can say it's a condition or the sorting mechanism, splits this tape into two non-empty parts. So, okay, so we're gonna split the array into two non-empty parts. And then the difference between the two parts is the value of the summation of every part, right? Cool. So we have an array, we're gonna divide it into two parts, all right? And we're gonna find the sum of every part. After that, in other words, yeah, but okay, so, and then we're gonna find the difference between the two parts of the values. Okay, in other words, it's the absolute difference between the sum of the first part and the sum of the second part. I guess this is clear. For example, consider array A such that we have this array here. We can split this tape in 4 places. Okay, so P1, P2, P3, P4, that's the place. Okay, so what we did here, so let's divide it into left and right. Okay, so the left part, which is the first part, is going to be the first index, 3. And then the rest of the array is going to be the right part. If we sum them, we're going to have 10. And then after that, we're going to find the difference, which is 3 minus 10, we're going to get 7, right? If you keep doing that, so just to have an idea, so the second point or place, it's going to be 3 plus 1, which is 4. The right side of that place is going to be 2 plus 4 plus 3, which is 9. 4 minus 9, it's 5. You loop through it until you finish it, right? And then you're going to come up with 7, 5, 7, 1, as we can see here. After that, you're just going to get the minimum or the minimal value of these, let's say, results, which is 1 here in this example, right? Is there anything else? That giving a non-empty array. Okay, this is, I guess, another one. Are we talking about the same one? No, we're talking about the same one. Yeah, the function should return 1 as explained above. Okay, so just thinking about it that way, you can just put everything in, like every result you come up with, you can just put it in array and then find the minimum value of that array. But maybe since we're talking about time complexity, it's gonna affect the performance because the minimum is you're gonna have to iterate through the whole array to find it. Anyway, and here we have our conditions. Okay, pretty straightforward and everything is nice. Cool. So let's start with this. I guess I already copied this. Yeah, it's ready here. So let's take the first or the only example as our main. So we have an array that has 3, 1, 2, 4, 3. Okay, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3. Okay. All right. So we echo it since we need only an integer. If we're gonna represent an array, we're gonna like print R. Okay, so the first thing, as we learned so far, or at least my way of doing it, is to find the count, because we're gonna need it. And we store it inside a variable so we don't have to calculate it every time. And then now let's start with dividing. So we need to divide the array into two sections, right? Left, say 0, and right equal 0. Now, if you can see here, so let's take this here. So what they did, they took, so let's take this. So the left side is going to be this one, and the right side is going to be that one, right? So we can say the left side is array of index 0. That's the left side. The right side, it's going to be the summation or the sum of the rest of the array, right? So we can say that the right side is array sum A, but minus the left, right? So if we do this and we just test it out, okay, and then right, there's definitely a better way to print them out, but whatever. Okay, we are lesson 4. So we have 3 and 10, which is the same 3 and 10. Okay, so for the first one, we're good to go. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, what else we should do? Now we need to loop through the array. But since we have a of 0 already calculated, I'm gonna start from 1, right? I'm gonna start from 1. Okay, and then I is less than the length I plus plus. But here I'm gonna use length minus 1 actually, because you don't want to end up with an array that has all of the items calculated as left side and 0 for the fourth side. So we need the last condition to be that way, like everything like 3, 1, 2, 4, and it's gonna be, you're gonna find the difference with 3. So that's why I'm gonna use the length minus 1. Okay, in this case, what am I gonna do? So every time I need to find, okay, I didn't do this. Let's say sum here equal left minus right. Okay, left minus right, and let's do the absolute of left minus right, because the left side is gonna be less than the right side. So it's either you do right minus left or the absolute of left minus right, but either way I'm gonna put the absolute, even if I'm doing the opposite way, which is fine. Now every time inside the loop I need to find the new sum and then compare it with the original one. So we solved this, or we've dealt with this kind of problems before, I guess, where you have to find the minimum or maximum, something like that. Anyway, so if I want to say the left side here, of course, if I'm gonna find the sum again, I'm gonna have to define the right and sum, and as we go, I need to just update them. So every time I am gonna have to add one digit or one item to the left side and remove one item from the right side, right? So we're just taking, so first time it's this compared to that, and then I'm adding one to the left side, but I'm removing the same one from the right side. So this way you can come up with a balanced right and left sections or parts. So I can say here that the left side is gonna be left addition. So I'm gonna add to the left side a plus I. Since I is, we started from 1, we're good to go. That's why I started from 1, right? And then the right side is gonna be the same, but we're gonna subtract this from it. Okay, I guess we're good. And then we're gonna define another value, let's say inner sum or temp sum or whatever you wanna call it, is gonna have the same definition, say left, or let's call it here, absolute of course, left minus the right, right? Okay, so we have it. Let's just try to print it out here and see like what do we get just to see our results. Are they, we're gonna be satisfied with them or not? And here I'm just gonna do this. So if we have 5, 1, and 7, 5, 1, and 7, what about this one? Okay, I'm just gonna do this. So we have 7, 5, 1, 7. 7, 5, 1, 7. If I go to the question here, 7, 5, 1, 7. Cool. Now, as I mentioned earlier, like you can just add them to an array, put them in an array, and just find the minimum value of that array. But I wouldn't recommend that for now, because if we do that, we don't need technically a different variable, right? We're just gonna insert into an array, and that's it. And here we're gonna just find the minimum of that array. But I defined an array here to say every time you come up with the sum, just compare it with the original one. So if def or sum is more than inner sum, right? So, okay, then sum equal inner sum. So this way, I'm just checking if this is the minimum or not. So, and every time, like, if it's not the minimum, then I'm gonna make it the minimum, right? It's pretty straightforward. Dun, dun, dun. We need to return the sum here. Let's check if there's anything else we've missed. So we got the length, and I forgot to do one thing actually, which is the thing I always do. Dun, dun, dun. Can you please type what happened here? Okay, yeah, that was my phone. Cool. So I can't do this. We're gonna go back again. Cool, we're good to go. See the whiteboard. Cool, we're back. So the to do is gonna be the checks, right? Anyway, so again, so we got the count. The left side is gonna be the first one. Array sum is the right part minus the left, and then we get the absolute. We start from I, and then until the end minus 1 or the length minus 1, we come up with a new inner sum, and then if it's not the minimum, then we redefine it and we keep going. So in this example, I should expect 1 as a result, and yes, and we have 1 here. So I guess we are good to go when it comes to, I don't know, correctness at least. Okay. So, cool. All right, so let's go for the code again and see for the question. So this is our example. We are done with it. So let's check these stuff now, the checks that we have. So n is an integer within, n for us is going to be the length. N is an integer within the range 2 to like 100,000. Okay, cool. Pretty straightforward. We're going to get it here. And since we're dealing with an array, before that, I'm going to say if empty, okay, if empty, the A, we're gonna just return a 0. Again, why do I return a 0? Because they're expecting an integer. If they're expecting an array, it's gonna be an empty array, right? Like you need to know, because in their test in Codility, when they test for the wrong conditions, or they expect still an outcome, like output. You can't just return null or like void. Okay, so the length here we said, so after we got the length, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna check for the range. So if it's less than 2 or more than, what was it, 100,000, 100,000, yeah. If this or that, then return 0, right? This is the first one. Okay, cool. What is the other one? The other one is each element of array A is an integer within the range minus 1,000 to 1,000. We also, I guess I need to just like have this code ready for future purposes, because we, like every test or every question has the same, almost the same conditions. So here we're going to be solving or checking for every item, right? And every, sorry, every item is A to I. So minus 1,000 to 1,000. Cool. Minus 1,000. So as we've seen last time, it's going to be minus absolute in PHP at least. So I'm checking for the false conditions, or 1,000, right? So if we are more than 1,000, we are less than 1,000, less than minus 1,000, return a 0. Okay. Okay. Cool. So do I still have the same stuff? Yeah. Cool. Let's test, since it's an array, try to come up with your own test cases. Empty array. Cool. And I remember there was like a tricky one, which is, I guess, 2 items. Say 1 and 1. 0. What if we minus 100 to 100? What should we expect here? Minus 100 to 100. We should expect 200. The apps, yeah, of course, minus plus. Okay, cool. Okay. Inner sum. Actually, I just want to trace this out. I just want to see what happened there. Dun. Okay. And I'm just gonna die it. Let's just see what really happened behind. So minus 1, we didn't actually, okay, cool. So we didn't actually go in the loop. So what we did here is the sum 200, and that's it. And I equal 1, I must, yeah, okay. And then we went, so we didn't go here at all. Cool. All right, I guess we are, so we checked for the array. We covered all the conditions, like we had only 2 conditions, right? For the length, less than 2, minimum 2. And that's why I tried 2 items. One of them is minus. And the last one is here. The last one is here. Okay. Cool. So let's try that out. Let's put it and try to test it. Let's take this here. Bum. So the main idea here in this question is just to divide them properly, which is that part. I guess everything else is, and you can just put this part, do this, yeah. You can just put this part in like a function or something, like if you want. We can use some functional programming here. Anyway, so we can just run the test here, which is the first one. They just test it for our let's say our sanity check or sanity test. So let's submit it. To be honest, last time I submitted this, I didn't score 100. I guess I scored 84 or 85, something like that. So hopefully this time, and we scored 100, but we still don't have these stuff here. I guess they're still calculating. Yeah, cool. All right, so equilibrium. So this is how you solve it. This is how, when you have to divide your set, list, array, whatever you're gonna have to divide and find the summation, I guess this is the way to go. If you have a better idea, to be honest, to solve this, I would be more than happy to like make a video about it. Because I'm not sure if it's, I'm gonna be honest with you, like when it comes to performance, I'm not really sure, like O to N, I guess, right? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. So I'm not really the expert when it comes to time space complexity. Like I do my best with them, but again, if you have any ideas, I'm open. So we spent 20 minutes to solve the problem, which is fair. Our max is 30. You can see here your code again and the examples. And I guess that's it. As I said, like for this section, the time complexity section, I'm just gonna be solving this question. I took a look on the other two questions. The first two, they're like, it's not, I'm not gonna call it like programming techniques or algorithms. They're just math. If you'd like, just leave a comment. I would make a video about them, of course. But I would recommend like going to more common problems when it comes to the interview, when it comes for you to prepare or to study algorithms. And that's it for now. Next time, I'm going to be going to the next section in Codility, which is going to be the fourth section. And we'll take it from there. I have no idea. I don't really remember what was it about. So we're going to check it together. We're going to try to solve the problem, and we're going to, of course, try to solve or to hit 100 as a score. That's it for now. Thank you for watching, and see you later.